Hey guys, it's me again with another video for you. Sorry about my dishevelled appearance first of all. I just got out of the shower. It's fairly late, well, like 9:45, not too bad I guess, but okay. Anyway, I was at my locals today and I was playing this kid first thing this morning, friendly, and some of the things, like some of the habits he did whilst playing really bugged me, and it's been bugging me all day. So I think I'm going to go ahead and make this video. It's just about sort of, we have like the rules obviously in the rule book, but these are kind of like the unwritten, unspoken rules between the players while they're playing. Just dueling manners, I suppose you'd call it. So I'm going to go ahead and go through these, and feel free to comment and sort of tell me like yours, or if you agree with mine or disagree with mine, whatever, that's fine. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to start with like waiting for a response. So I'm talking about like, say, like your opponent launches an attack on you, declares an attack, and then they just go ahead and they start, leading in and start mashing away on their calculator, knocking off the life points or whatever, and you're like, oh, well, I was going to, I would have liked to responded with Mirror Force to that attack, or I would like to respond with Deep Prison or something. But they've already gone ahead and they're like, oh, sorry, now I've got to add the life points back on. It's kind of a waste of time. Obviously, and also, if they're attacking and, to attack and to assume that your opponent has no response whatsoever, despite them having, I don't know, 2 or 3 back rows set, it's kind of ignorant. So that's that one. Just generally waiting for a response, that's pretty good. The next thing is, it's kind of a sticky topic because I know I'm guilty of it myself, but I want to talk about it anyway because I try and do the best I can with it. It's mobile phones. It's always awkward if you're in the middle of a game and your phone goes off. Like I said, it's happened to me a couple of times. Fair enough if it's super important, but, try and keep it as brief as you can, because not only is it kind of rude to be talking on the phone when you're supposed to be focusing on your opponent, it's also obviously wasting time on the round, generally, and at least when you have finished, and you've kept it as brief as possible, hopefully, when you have finished, at least, say sorry to your opponent. That's, that's kind of a given. Another thing that winds me up personally is people who like have headphones on when they're playing you. It's kind of like what that says to me is that, they're telling me that they don't need, they can sit there and listen to music or whatever, because they don't need to put 100% of their concentration in the game. They can kind of, relax. And that, that's kind of, I don't know about you guys, but I think that's kind of rude. Another one which actually happened to me this morning with this kid, staying at the table. If you're halfway through a game and your friend calls you, you don't leave the table and go wander off and see them halfway through a game. This kid's his mate called him and he got up and started to walk off, and I called him. I said, what are you doing? At least stay and finish the round, the game, and then you can go talk to your friend. But don't just get up and walk off halfway through. And leave all the stuff there halfway through a game, because that tells me that you're not really fussed. You're not really bothered. You've probably got it wrapped up in the bag anyway, so you're just going to go and talk to your friend. That kind of winds me up. The next ones I'm coming on to were provided by a buddy of mine on YouTube. His username is EKTIoncharge. Look him up. He does loads of YouTube videos and stuff about Yu-Gi-Oh! Great videos, really, really informative, really good. He was talking about like sore losing. Obviously, if you're losing, it happens. It's a game. At the end of the day, there's going to be a winner and a loser at the end of it. If you do lose, don't start whining. Don't like start. In the worst case scenario, start like accusing your opponent of cheating just because you lost or something like that. Because that's just, it's just bad. Or don't start whining, or don't start trying to find ways of getting out of it. But then on the flip side of that, there's also sore winning. If you're winning, that's great. It's good. But to like start, like laughing at your opponent, or like making it like being really arrogant, and really bad about it, that's just as bad, if not worse, I'd say. The next one is like generally like talking to people when if you're halfway through a game, you know, and your mate sits down next to you and is watching, that's fine. You know, that's fine for them to watch. But if you start like saying, "Oh, look at these sweet cards I've got. Oh, I'm so gonna win," you know, obviously not all people sound like that, but you know, you start saying to them, "Oh, look at these," you know, like showing off. You know, that's really rude because like you don't. You know, you just don't do that. You know. Another one actually I've only just thought of is that if you're somebody who's sat down next to a person who's who's dueling, and you can see their hand or their field or whatever, then that's and that don't start saying to them, "Oh, I know what you should do," and you shouldn't do that or you should do that, because obviously not only is that against the rules because you're helping them, it's also pretty rude towards their opponent, because you're not really showing any regard for them. Okay, and the kind of the biggest main one, which also happened to me today, which is quite annoying, is like touching your opponent's cards without permission. You know, I realise that there are parts of the field which are public knowledge, you know, such as the graveyard, etc., which is fine, and you know, obviously your opponent has every right to know what cards are in your graveyards, but you know, it's also in the rulebook that they need to ask your permission first before they start touching your cards and looking through them. But also when they have got permission to look through your cards, you know, you could handle them with care. You know, handle them with the same care that you'd show your cards. Because it happened to me today. Like I said, some kid, he sort of just plucked a card off my field and was reading it, and in doing so, he bent it basically. You know, I mean, it was a cheap card. You know, it wasn't a super expensive card, but I said to him, you know, there are guys playing here with cards that can be worth like £50 each, and you don't want to be stuck with like a bill replacing their card that you bent because you weren't careful. You know, and like I said, it may have been a cheap card, but it still annoys me. You know, on principle. I think that's all I can think of at the moment. If you have any more suggestions, comment. Like, I want to know like your personal pet hates. If you've got any others, let me know. Like I said, if you agree with any of mine, then feel free to like it, whatever. If you disagree, let me know and tell me why. Because hopefully by following like these rules, then we can always make Yu-Gi-Oh! And other card games, to be honest, any game really, a better thing to do for everyone. Anyway, rant over. I'll see you guys later.